Oh, this is very crooked. Oh, okay. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I feel like my lighting is kind of weird today, but that's because it's stormy outside. Where do I live? Today I'm going to be talking about books. As some of you know, I love to read, and I love to share some of my favorite novels with you guys. Recently I've read a few books that I want to talk about, and I've also had a few disappointing book moments, I guess. So I wanted to mention them, talk about it, let's start a conversation, and I would love to see some of your book recommendations or even just hear about some of your favorite books you've read recently down below as well. If you want to follow me on GoodReads, you're more than welcome to. My account is always linked down below, and I love to read and I update it all the time because I recently got really uninspired. Like everything I read was like very mediocre, and I'm still kind of on that path right now, so I'm hoping to get off of it with my next book that I'm about to start reading. But let me talk about the books that I recently read. So this is more of like an in-depth talk through of the books that I mention in my favorites videos. I often mention a book, well I do mention a book every month in my favorites, but I don't get to really like get into depth about it, or else the video would be literally like 25 minutes long. So let's get started. I guess the first one I'll talk about is this one here, which I mentioned, I believe, in my June favorites. This is Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. I feel like I've already talked a lot about this, so I'm not going to go too much into it. If you want to know more about my thoughts, I can link that video down below, my June favorites, and I also have a review of it on GoodReads if you want to read that. Basically, I started this series because, if you don't know, I'm a huge fan of the George R.R. Martin series, The Song of Ice and Fire, and I absolutely love that series, and there hasn't been a new book for a really long time, so as I'm just like waiting, I decided to pick up this, which is usually beside Game of Thrones in my bookstore, so I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just pick it up and try it. So I read it like a couple weeks ago, and I didn't love it, to be honest, and I don't know if I'm going to continue reading the series. What are you guys' thoughts on these? I just feel like I don't know who really likes these yet. Like, I haven't really heard anyone be like, yes, they're amazing. So I'm not really certain about these yet. I haven't made up my mind about how I feel. Sort of torn, although I was like definitely hooked in the beginning and in the middle and in the end. I was hooked, but it didn't make me want to go out right away and buy the next book. I'm not sure if that's like my issue or if something else is going on here. Tell me, have you read this? Did you like it? My phone's going off. I know it's not that good because if I haven't run out and bought the next book, then I'm not in love. It's not the book for me. Very sexual. I already mentioned that before too, but holy shit, guys, be prepared. This is about to get horny. Like, honestly, I've never read a book with that many sex scenes, and I've read a lot of books. So, actually, 50 Shades of Grey might have more. I don't know, I haven't read it. Now let's move on to this book, which if you don't follow me on GoodReads, you wouldn't know that I'm reading this. Actually, I think I posted a photo on Instagram. Yes, I did. I was reading this in chapters the other day. Actually, no, in a Starbucks, because it was so hot outside and the air conditioning in my house was broken. So I was like, give me some air conditioning. So I went there and I was reading my book and drinking tea. But anyways, you can also follow me on Instagram if you want. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I mean, I'm pretty cool. This book I started reading because my new decision, my new reading journey is going to be reading award-winning novels. Now, not just any awards, because this is a New York Times Book Review Best Book of the Year. I've read several of the New York Times Best Book of the Year winners. I've read a lot of them. Some of them I've loved, some of them I've absolutely hated, and you will have heard of these books throughout all my book reviews. But this one I actually am really enjoying. I'm almost done, so I can't completely say how I feel. A little anticlimactic, to be 100% honest with you, but I will say a lot of the time with award-winning novels, it either is like shoots you right in the heart and you're like, yes, I understand, I get it, this makes sense to me that it's won awards, or it goes right above my head where I'm just like, I said, what? That was Kate Atkinson's Life After Life for me. I just didn't get it. I didn't get it at all. It's a challenging read often. It's not usually just like a cushy, nice ending. It's often very challenging and thought-provoking, which I want in a book. I really do. So I'm really enjoying this. It's kind of interesting because I read a lot of reviews on GoodReads before I read this, which I don't recommend doing because it really does sway your own judgment of a novel. Just go at it with an open mind, and I feel like that way about movies too. Like, just go in and just watch it and enjoy it and form your own opinions, and then if you want to find out if people feel the same way as you, like, then go to another source. That's how I believe things should work. Some people I know just want to go to movies that have like good reviews, and some people just want to read books that have good reviews. Like, to me, I will formulate my own review. So this I'm enjoying. It's kind of interesting. The main character is a little bit weird to me. I find it really hard to relate to female characters in novels a lot of the time. I don't know why. I feel like often they're just like portrayed as very weak and very like dependent and insecure, and I want someone strong and like with a strong personality, and I find there's often not a strong honest, open female character. So I'll let you know in my July favorites my final thoughts on this book. But so far I'm actually enjoying it, and I would recommend if you want a light read. It's not super heavy. I mean, it just got pretty heavy real quick. Like, I started reading a couple hours ago and it got really heavy and I wasn't expecting it. So that's kind of exciting, I guess. I don't know. I did a book haul. Some of these books were part of it. If you want to see that, I'll link it down below. I did that a while ago, and this was the last book that I picked up from my book haul to read for several reasons. First of all, when I picked it up and read the reviews, I thought, oh my gosh, this could potentially be amazing. Like, potentially has the potential to be one of my favorite series. Yeah, I didn't like this at all. To be honest with you guys, I got so frustrated with reading it that I was just like, it makes me feel, books like this make me feel like they've dumbed down my literature because it's supposed to be young adult. Like, I don't really get that, and it sort of bothers me. Like, it just felt really dumbed down, and it felt like they were trying to say things that were very like meaningful potentially and very like thought-provoking, but they like just dulled it down to make it easier to swallow for a young mind. And it really bothered me. I find the story super stupid and predictable and generic. That's what bothered me the most. I love young adult books, like, do not get me wrong. Some of young adult series are my favorite from all time, like Harry Potter and The Hunger Games. But I find that now young adult series are just becoming like just copies of what's already been done. I felt like there was really no creativity that went into the making of this book, and I really would love if one of you guys would like disagree with me and say that this was like the best book you ever read and you loved it, and like give it another try, because I totally would. Because this was such a disappointment to me that it actually kind of made me angry, and I was so disappointed. I had such high hopes. The main character was stupid to me. I just felt like he didn't care about anything but himself, and it was just a frustrating read, in all honesty. That is the truth. That's how I feel. So that's really all I have to say about Red Rising. It was really disappointing, and I feel like, yeah, I don't know. A lot of people just said on GoodReads that like you have to persevere for the first like bit of the book, but I don't have time to waste. I don't know, I just feel like there's so many books out there who don't have shitty beginnings that I don't want to waste my time on a book that I have to work to enjoy. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about some books that I'm planning on reading soon, and like I mentioned before, I want to read books that have won awards, and I'd like to figure out why the book won the award, even if I like don't really enjoy the book. The first one that I'm really excited to start reading, which I feel like I tried to read probably 5 or 6 years ago, but I wasn't successful, is A Visit from the Goon Squad by Jennifer Egan, and this is the winner of the Pulitzer Prize. This book is really interesting to me because it is about musicians, and for those of you who do not know, my family consists of many musicians. My boyfriend's a musician. It's sort of just a part of my life, always has been. So I love reading about that lifestyle. It's sometimes really terrifying and sometimes it's really interesting and inspiring. So I'm really excited to read this. Be excited. I don't know why you'd be excited, but you can be if you want. It's up to you, girl. Okay, so my next book that I think I mentioned in my last book video that I talked about, I really want to read this. This is The Dinner by Herman Koch. Kind of looks like crotch, but it's not. Basically, this book has been talked about a lot, and I know the like gist of the plot because a lot of my family members have read it and we've talked about it. And I'm just sort of scared that it's going to freak me out. And in all honesty, and I feel like this is something that I'm not afraid to say, I am a like #1 most terrified person of everything in the whole entire world. Like, I get scared so easily. It takes absolutely the smallest little thing to freak me out or set me on edge. Like, here, let me just tell you a quick story. This is like the epitome of Emily's freaked outness. One time I was home alone with my cat. I don't know why I'm making my cat sound like she's a person. She's a cat. But anyway, sometimes when my cat and I are home alone, she will wander from like room to room, and then I'll like talk to her and be like, hi, whatever. And then she'll look into another room, and it's always a room that has no lights on, so I can't see in, and she'll just look and stare. And I'm like, what are you staring at? Are you staring at a person? Is there someone in there? Can you warn me? Can you give me a heads up to grab the kitchen knife? Like, she'll just stare, and it freaks me out. So one time, I followed her around the whole freaking house because I thought she was trying to tell me something. Because you always hear these stories about like dogs rescuing their owners from like a gas leak and fires, and I believe my cat to have that power, although I don't think she does. I think she's actually quite stupid, but I want to believe she's smart because, you know, believing it will come true. Is that a thing? So anyways, I get freaked out from that. My cat. You guys, there's no hope for me. Really, there's none. Have you read this? Tell me down below. Would you recommend it? It has very mixed reviews. Even for my own family, it has mixed reviews, so I think I'll start it. I think I will. So those are all the books that I want to talk about in this episode of whatever this video is called. I have no idea yet. I have to figure out some sort of title. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this. Let me know down below what you're reading right now, what books you recommend, or just one of your favorite books of all time. I would love to hear about it, and I hope you all are doing well. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are awesome, and I really appreciate every single one of you. And I love doing book videos, so if you want me to do more, definitely let me know. I know you guys tend to love my book videos. This is sort of more of a rambly style video, but I think they're still fun just to talk about what I'm reading, what I want to read, and so on. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all soon. Bye!